Hello. I probably don't really need this sweater for much longer because even though it is fall and it feels nice, like maybe 60-ish degrees right now, in like half an hour, it'll probably be 70, 75. I went on a canoe trip last weekend with a couple of my friends. We did some fly fishing. They did some fly fishing. I read the Nick Adams stories. Not all of it, and I'd read most of them before, but yeah, I'm gonna let you watch about, I think it's like 10 minutes of kind of the trip itself, and then I will talk a little more about the Nick Adams stories. So if you are interested in the canoe portion, feel free to watch. I think it could be entertaining. They caught some fish, I read some book, and yeah, if not, then just skip. I will leave a comment or put it in the description, or you can just figure out where I start talking. You hear me talk about Hemingway just a little bit. Catch you at the end.
LFG. Alright. Lock my car. My key fob's out of battery. You jerked that bitch out of the water. Little fella. Come on, man. That was the biggest turtle I've ever seen in my freaking life. Look at the dust cloud he ran through. He's got a big fish on your way. Big fish on your way. Big fish on your way. I'm gonna get right here and then when it clears a bit. Video.
Fast little fucker.
I think they're like.
Show it one more time.
Bass, dude. One more time.
I saw a big ass fish in it.
Bro. Y'all just stayed up.
We were walking around, man. Waited for everyone to go to sleep, and we just went on a walk, see what.
Overlooking it? I don't know. Sharp ass team. Little bitty buddy.
Little
Well,
guy.
not skunk today.
We didn't even get skunked at a hole we fished at today.
little brim baby, I think. No, there's a bass.
Brim or bass? Brim. Bluegill?
No, it's one of those little red bellies, but I mean, pretty much a bluegill.
Finna.
Hey, you can't park there.
Fucking dead. Pad tonight. Sun's coming out, boys.
This man right here, it's the god of fire.
On a rainy day. When you're coming home,
beautiful
there,
scene
don't
right
know
there.
when
Some boiled
we'll
peanuts, some
get it
PBR.
there.
Can't fucking beat it with a stick. All right, so what we've got here is we've got some boiled peanut juice after eating the boiled peanuts. Yep. And we are going to do a little experiment.
Okay.
I have high hopes.
I have absurdly high hopes. I think it's gonna be.
Like maybe it's a mistake, but
Let's see here. Get this thing cranked back going. Watch your eyebrows.
all right. Now we just gotta wait a few minutes and we'll see.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
That on video?
Not yet. God damn, that looks fucking beautiful, man.
That's really, really good.
Right, Cody, what you think?
It's blazing hot, so. I mean, it's good. It's really good.
Yeah.
If you cut up some sausage and put in here, it's our next video.
I mean, it's a little salty.
Wow.
But I mean, a little.
Yeah.
Damn.
Cut it with a little bit of water.
Yeah, and you got that really pretty broom too.
Oh yeah, I did. I feel like there's at least one or two brims sitting in that little hole right there.
Yeah, blow on that shit.
He's good at blowing.
He's great at blowing. Great blower.
Tell your friends. Tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
Sat down on the bundle of canvas and on bedding the baggage man had pitched out the door of the baggage cart. There was no town, nothing but the rails and the burned over country. The 13 saloons that had lined.
He was just there anyway.
Well, you better watch your feet. Dude, I think this gator just lives here, bro. We keep fucking up his plans.
Better check the tent when we get back. Make sure nobody made themselves at home.
Nah, he's still right there, dude. I see his eye.
See anything else on the river?
Sometimes I'm dead on. Other times I'm not. It's one of those dead on times.
I bet that boy gets his fill on some little bass.
Little bass and some broomies.
Broom.
Little bass and broomies. A little bit less of paddle.
Oh, this is I broke it. My bad. We need that bass.
Hey, coming up. Looking there just to
Put off on my phone. That's one of those things that'll make me kind of bummed.
Getting ready to pull out last day. We go hit this place called Big Level, which I've been told is incredible.
Greasy burger.
Greasy burger. I just hope the presentation is immaculate. Like I said earlier, I have read most of these stories before, not all of them. There's still a couple that I haven't yet got to. But the big one is, of course, Big Two-Hearted River. And they recently, someone, I forgot who it was, published Big Two-Hearted River on its own. I have a copy for the 100th anniversary. It's a centennial edition. It's very neat. It's got like woodcut art. I think it's a cool thing to have, especially if you like Hemingway. I wanted to take this with me because a lot of the Nick Adams stories take place outdoors in nature, you know, fly fishing, drinking wine. I brought a bottle of Spanish wine with me on the trip, and we sat in the river and drank it on the first day, and it kind of felt like we were in a Hemingway story a little bit. Big Two-Hearted River is just a man in nature. You see how far out, my friend Cody points out that you see how far he has to go to get out into nature, and that's sort of how it's like now still. You have to go out of your way to get out there and to get away from people, and that's kind of one of the things of this trip that was just cool, just getting out and away from everything and just kind of listening to the sounds of the birds, seeing the fish jump, seeing the fish swim by in the river. And I've been on trips like this before. I don't do it super often because I have to, you know, take off of work. There's all these excuses that we make. But once I get out there, I really, really enjoy it, especially on the second into the third day. Like on the third day, I could have done another 3 nights, you know, I felt like. But we obviously did not have the supplies, and I had not taken off work for that amount of time, so it was never going to happen. So there was that kind of buffer of, yeah, I can say I want to do it, but I don't actually have to do it. That may have come into play. But Hemingway just has, you could tell he was someone who enjoyed being out in nature, someone who enjoyed fly fishing, who enjoyed hiking, who enjoyed, that was weird, someone who enjoys all these things. And so I read Big Two-Hearted River sitting on a log in the river with my feet in the water. And I just sat there and read it. And my buddies were down the river fly fishing. So it was just absolute, not silent, but just so peaceful all around me as I was reading it. And it felt like the perfect way to read this story. I know everybody's not going to be able to just do that. But I think if you can find a spot, especially for a story like this, where you can just be read You can just read uninterrupted, no phone, just sit there and read. I don't know if any of this is just smoke up the ass or what, but here we go. He's talking about the meal he's making. I'm trying to find it, exactly what I'm looking for. So the first night we took steaks. The second night we had sausage. So we took like 50 or something beers with us and the bottle of wine. And so, I mean, we were carting a bunch of stuff down river, and just the canoe got much lighter by the end of the trip. But Nick was hungry. He did not believe he had ever been hungrier. He opened and emptied a can of pork and beans and a can of spaghetti into the frying pan. "I've got a right to eat this kind of stuff if I'm willing to carry it," Nick said. His voice sounded strange in the darkening woods. He did not speak again. He started a fire with some chunks of pine he got with the axe from a stump. Over the fire he stuck a wire grill, pushing the 4 legs down into the ground with his boot. Nick put the frying pan on the grill over the flames. He was hungrier. The beans and spaghetti warmed. Nick stirred them and mixed them together. They began to bubble, making little bubbles that rose with difficulty to the surface. There was a good smell. Nick got out a bottle of tomato ketchup and cut 4 slices of bread. The little bubbles were coming faster now. Nick sat down beside the fire and lifted the frying pan off. He poured about half the contents out into the tin plate. It spread slowly on the plate. Nick knew it was too hot. He poured on some tomato ketchup. He knew the beans and spaghetti were still too hot. He looked at the fire, then at the tent. He was not going to spoil it all by burning his tongue. For years he had never enjoyed fried bananas because he had never been able to wait for them to cool. His tongue was very sensitive. He was very hungry. Across the river in the swamp, in the almost dark, he saw a mist rising. He looked at the tent once more. All right. He took a spoonful from the plate. "Christ," Jesus said. "Jesus Christ," he said happily. He ate the whole plateful before he remembered the bread. We were, when you go out there, you kind of feel like you're cheating if you're not bringing, like, if you're not, like, making it off the land. Like, if you're not fishing for your food, or if you're not bringing those shitty, like, freeze-dried packets where you just add water, the camp food. It just doesn't, like, you feel like you're bougie camping or something when you bring all this stuff with you. But, as Hemingway says, I've got a right to eat this kind of stuff if I'm willing to carry it. And I feel that's a good attitude to have. What does earning it mean? And who really cares at the end of the day? You're not going out there to prove something. You're going out there to enjoy it. At least that's the way I look at it. Yeah, Big Two-Hearted River, just a beautiful, beautiful story. That if you haven't read it, I think you should. I did also notice, before I sign off here, there's, I know, and I've known, and I've seen before some of the influence that Gertrude Stein had on Ernest Hemingway, especially in the early stories when he was kind of working more closely with her, I guess. But in Big Two-Hearted River, and you even heard it in the passage that I read just then, where the repetition of the words and the just constant reaffirming of this is what's happening. Started a fire with some chunks of pine he got with the axe from a stump. Over the fire he stuck a wire grill, pushing the 4 legs down into his boot. And then you see grill, and he repeats grill immediately again. Bubbles, he's talking about the bubbles. I think Gertrude Stein did that thing a lot, and that was kind of they say Ernest Hemingway made Gertrude Stein palatable for the masses, her style of writing, and I think there's a lot of truth in that, and that could be a whole nother video, and maybe it will be. I'm sure someone's already done it, so maybe I won't bother, but I thought that was really interesting. That was something that really stuck out to me, when I was able to just read this without any distraction, and just really focus on the text is there's just all sorts of instances in this story specifically that just are so influenced by Gertrude Stein, not what he's writing about, but the way he's writing it. And yeah, he does his own sort of Hemingway thing with it as well. But just a reminder that without Gertrude Stein, we would not have Ernest Hemingway, or not have him as we know him today. Whether that is a positive or a negative for you, I can't answer, but I find that interesting and important to note. So if you stuck around, I appreciate it. This was a different video for me. So hopefully it's enjoyable. Hopefully it worked out. But yeah, Nick Adams stories, Big Two-Hearted River, recommend. So, see y'all next time.